Welcome to the Zoom, everybody. I'm glad to see everybody here. Um, this is the Level Up team. We're just a group of investors. Some of the investment companies we have is Business Matters, Be a Success Story, and Good News Inc. So we just come together and we use certain vehicles to bring us wealth, health, travel, and financial literacy. So some of the vehicles that we use is Freedom 365. You can make up to $25,000. It pays out in Cash App, Venmo, Bitcoin. It's just like the new Cash App flip. We also have Club Bismarck. You could make up to $30,000. Ways that you can get paid is pay quicker. They give you a debit card. You could get direct deposit or crypto. We have something that might be coming soon that we're looking at. You could get up to $600,000 and a founder paid position. So that's coming soon. So today's mindset class or Zoom is on growth and mindset. Well, growth mindset, should I say, in a fixed mindset. We're going to watch a video from Robert Kiyosaki, and he's going to go through some of the things of how a growth mindset, what's the difference between the growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Some of the things that growth mindset says, I can try a different strategy. Is this really my best work? This may take some time and effort. A fixed mindset would say something completely different. Like, I can't do this. This work is good. This work is good enough. This is too hard. So we're going to learn how to change those mindsets. And we're going to watch a short video of Robert Kiyosaki.
Work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market. See, why would you save money when they're printing trillions of dollars? The gap between the 1% and 99% is massive. You see, it's not just money. You have to step back and look at the bigger picture.
So what do you do?
In every one of us is a poor person. There's still a poor person inside me. There's also a middle class person, and the middle class persons want security. They want that steady paycheck. And there's a rich person. And they're all inside of us, except that it's not taught. You're taught to go to school, get a job, and get a paycheck. You're not taught to how to get rich. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my rich dad refused to pay me. He said the paycheck was one of the most damaging things you could take in your life. He says, the moment you take a paycheck, you're an employee, and that's the mindset. So my rich dad never paid me. He drove my poor dad, government employee, nuts. You gotta pay people, you gotta pay people. And rich dad was not saying that the paycheck was bad. He says he didn't want to be a slave to money. So as an entrepreneur, if rich dad folded, I just started another company. I don't need a paycheck. I don't need anybody to take care of me. If my government doesn't like me, I move to another country because they need entrepreneurs there. So the entrepreneur is not so much the business. The entrepreneur is really the mindset and the skill sets and the different set of rules. You see, small business does not operate in the same rules as big business. Entrepreneur is a mindset first, a skill set, and rules. And depending upon whether you're an employee or a small business, the rules are different. The mindsets are different. The skill sets are different.
If you could say one thing to somebody who's never been an entrepreneur and they're thinking about making the leap of faith into becoming an entrepreneur, what could you tell them?
Well, I'll just tell them the same thing that happened to me. My last paycheck, I still remember it clearly. It was one of the worst and the best days of my life. And I was in Puerto Rico. I was working for Xerox, and my boss gave me my last, it wasn't a paycheck, it was a bonus check. I think it was about $30,000 taxable. It's the only problem with that. So I got this check and I went, holy mackerel. You know what I mean? So I was excited, but I was also disturbed. And so this other guy comes up to me, his name was John, and John says to me, he says, you're gonna be back. I said, why? He says, because you're gonna fail. I looked at him and said, look, few expletive words, because that's what he did. He left Xerox, failed, and he came back. And I said, look, you failed and you came back, but I'm gonna fail and I'm never coming back. And that's the attitude. Do you know what I mean? If you say, well, if I fail, I'll go back to mommy and daddy, then that's what you'll do. So if you fail, that's when I became an entrepreneur, because I had no money. I had no money for years. You know, I didn't have a paycheck. But that's what my rich dad encouraged me to do. He says, when you don't have this paycheck, you get hungrier, smarter, and it's a test of your character. Will you become a crook? Will you become dishonest? Will you cheat and steal? Or will you become a better human being? So really, that's the benefit of becoming an entrepreneur, is you really find out who you are when you don't have anything. So you always have to look at the big picture. Too many people look at, well, what's going to happen to me? When you look at the big picture, you're also going to know that when something bad happens, something good's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But you got to prepare for whatever is coming. If you think next 20 years will be like the last 20 years, mm-hmm. you're going to get creamed. You know, when you and I go to the supermarket and we buy a carton of milk, we always check for the expiration date. But most people do not check for the expiration date on their brains. Instead of get out of debt, I get into debt. You know, I just refinanced $300 million in debt. I went from 5% to 2.5% interest. I made a fortune. Every month, more money comes in because my cost of money has gone down. So while some financial experts are saying get out of debt, I'm saying learn how to use debt. See, when I came back from in Vietnam in January of '73, the first thing my rich dad said to me was go to school to learn how to invest in real estate. It wasn't real estate, it was how to use debt and taxes. Debt and taxes make the rich richer. Debt and taxes make the poor and middle class poorer. So all the rich guys who are doctors and lawyers, or, you know, those guys, they're getting creamed and they don't know why.
Doctors are getting creamed.
Oh yeah, they're making more money, but the take home is less.
Sure.
You know, my doctor just yelled at me. He's happy. He says, "Oh, guess what? I finally made $1 million." And I said, "Yeah, this was just 3 weeks ago." And so I said, "Yeah, well, how much you pay in tax?" He says, $750,000 in taxes. So his net was about $400,000. That's not bad. But when I make $1 million, I keep $1 million. And the reason is because I don't make it by working for money. See, if you work for money, you're taxed. So that's why lesson number 1 in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the rich don't work for money. What we do instead is we create businesses as entrepreneurs. We acquire real estate. I don't want to invest in the stock market. Okay? So the reason is because as entrepreneurs, I have more control over my income, how much I make, and how much I pay in taxes. And because I'm an entrepreneur as well as an investor in real estate, I pay 0 tax. So every time I make, let's say, $1 million as an entrepreneur, I immediately invested in real estate and have a 4-to-1 step up. So I put $1 million in real estate, I get $4 million from the bank. That's why I love banks. But the banks are screwing everybody else, you know, terrible, but it's good for me.
That's why you say when you print, it's good for you, but when you print, it's bad for people that work for money.
Because when you print, savers get creamed and people who work for money get creamed. When they print, debtors get rich. You see, debt and taxes make the rich richer, and debt and taxes make the poor middle class poorer. When we have obsolete ideas, we get obsolete results. So what's happening for most people, the idea of going to school, getting a job, working hard, saving money, getting out of debt, buying your house because it's an asset, investing for the long term, is obsolete. The world has changed. The world changed in 1971 when President Nixon took us off the gold standard and money became debt.
What if we get rid of school? Then what would happen? Would it be better if we had no educational system at all?
No, I'm saying education is more important before. It's just obsolete. You know, there's Moore's law that Moore's law, which states information doubles every 18 months. In other words, everything's obsolete 18 months. So, and this is just a recent phenomenon. So when you come out of school, you're already obsolete. And that's why I'm the old guy, I meet my friends who went to Harvard. Yeah, I went to Harvard. I said, yeah, that was how long, 50 years ago? Today, the banks are charging you interest to save money. In other words, banks don't want your money because they printed too much of it. And that's why there's this bubbles in stocks and bubbles in real estate and all this. People are dumping the cash because, as I said in here, savers are losers and cash is trash. And yet people are, well, I want a high-paying job. Well, that's an obsolete idea. Get out of debt is an obsolete idea. You should learn how to get into debt, how to use debt to get rich, and they'll never teach you about taxes. The reason the 1% is way up here and the 99% are going this way is because when you print money, two things happen: inflation and taxes. It's crushing them. And any entrepreneur thinks, I'm just going to make money, I'm going to start a business and make a lot of money because of what we talk about. They really have got to smell the roses, man. That's not what the real entrepreneurs are doing. Most entrepreneurs, there's 28 million small business owners in America. 24 million are what are one-person entrepreneurs. They're called non-employee entrepreneurs. So and that's what happens is when people don't really understand what an entrepreneur does. So most big people are self-employed, but they're not really entrepreneurs. The self-employed pay the highest taxes of all. And nobody tells them that. Yeah, it's also called the entrepreneurial spirit. But what we were actually talking about was there's no such thing as a bad economy. There's the external, you and I, we all have an external economy, but we also have an internal economy. And the willpower is to change our internal economy. So for me, I can see the good and I can see the bad. I don't really give a damn because I'm going to be rich anyway. But a poor person with a poor personal economy, all they're going to see is a bad economy because they don't know how to make money in any economy. And a middle class person, they have a middle class economy. What they want is a nice house and a steady paycheck and the job and the car. And so when you take their job away, to them, that's disaster. Well, since an entrepreneur doesn't have a job anyway, it's no big deal. So all I'm saying to people, and it's what Bucky Fuller taught me, is always two sides, you know what I mean? Unity is plural, at minimum two. So if you think the economy is bad, it's because your economy is bad. If you think that steady, employment is important, then you'll see an economy without jobs. Your economy versus the external economy.
What you control versus what you can't control.
I can control. Yeah, it's called an internal focus versus an external focus. So the real entrepreneur has an internal focus. That if they fall down, they say, "Oh, this is good, because I'm going to go up higher." The average person will fall down and say, "Oh, I'm going to take some Prozac," or somebody has a mistake. So, "Oh, the mistakes don't matter." Well, mistakes matter. It means you didn't know something. But a real entrepreneur, whether they fall down, they always can go up. They can stand back up and go higher. And no matter what happens to them, they get stronger and better and smarter and happier. But a person with a weak internal mindset is that they're so afraid of what happens, it generally happens. Like, people who are afraid of losing their jobs, they generally lose their jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
everything
you can
comes through you.
Yeah, so the entrepreneur first job is to control inside here, not outside there. The moment you take that paycheck, you're an employee. You've got to be stronger than that. It's about inside control.
Yes, guys. So that's Robert Kiyosaki. He's one of my favorite people to follow and read up on his books and different advice that he gives. And one of the things we do have to do is not take that paycheck. We got to learn how to invest in different things and become our own business owner and partners and find our own ways to make money without having to work for someone else. Debt is not bad. I mean, that's one thing I've been learning over these last few months, that you could use that to make big investments. I mean, Danielle was just talking about that like yesterday. You want to touch on that, Danielle? What you were saying to your friend, or your friend said to you?
Yeah, so that's basically it. Just that so many people, they're so nervous about debt and they're scared to get into debt. But when you have good credit, you have access to a lot of money. And so if you have access to 20, 30, 40, $100,000, then you'll be able to invest in something that you know will give you a guaranteed return on investment times 2, 3. But that's one of the problems is, we get these opportunities, but we don't have access to that kind of capital. And so, that's why it's so important to build up your credit and, really find out different ways you can get access to that kind of capital so you can make those huge investments, and then make those huge returns.
Right.
Not be scared of it. If you put in $20,000 to something that is a definite $40,000 return, $60,000 return, and that, and you have access to the money, then you just tripled your money,
Right.
and so you can pay that back and still have double in your pocket. So
Right.
yeah, don't be scared of debt.
Right.
You use it as leverage to really do what you want to do.
Right. And that's what we're all about. You know what I mean? We're not only, we try different platforms until we weed out what works for us. Like if something don't work for us, we'll move on and try something else. We're never satisfied. We're always trying to find a way to make us some money and the people who join us. We develop people into their own business owner, you know what I mean? When we come together, yes, we're the Level Up Club, but we're all still, that's why I made this flyer right here, because we're still our own individual person. You know what I mean? Danielle is Business Matter. I'm BSS Story. Phil is Good News Inc. You know what I mean? So we everything we teach is, anything we join is giving you knowledge, so every company we get involved with has to have some type of value. Either it's wealth, it's teaching you about health, it's teaching you about travel or have travel discounts, some type of financial literacy. It has to be something that's going to give you some type of takeaway. You know what I mean? Broaden your mind, help
level you up, right?
Sorry?
I said level you up, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why it's the Level Up Club, because we a whole bunch of investors that's leveling up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing about it is we work as a team to help each other get to that next level. Regardless of where your start point is, we can start there and keep leveling up. So I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we have opportunities at different price points. We have as low as free, but it actually costs $10 to join. Well, $24 if you have the admin fee. So $24 to join for one level on Freedom 365, which that one is an amazing platform. I mean, it's member to member Cash App payments or however you choose to accept your payments. And then they're teaching, mindset, health, Forex, real estate. I mean, depending on the levels that you come in at, it's almost like they graduate your knowledge as, the amount of money that you make goes up, because the more money you make, the higher the level that you can go to. And so the higher the level you can go to, the, better and more expensive the knowledge is. So I love that one. But Bismarck, it's the same thing. We have mindset, the same thing with health, with the healthcare products, and then Forex trading. And then, and it's so cool because with Freedom 365, you can get in for the $24, Or you could get in for the $24 and then upgrade to the $25 level and then the $50 level. And now you have access to Forex bots, 2 Forex bots. I
Mhm.
mean, that's just extra money. And then an exclusive private Facebook group that we have that has a wealth of knowledge in it, from real estate to how to invest in real estate without putting a whole bunch of money in stocks, just a lot of information that's exclusive just to the people that come up those first 3 levels. So, I mean, we really are doing a lot of big things as a group, and it's amazing. And so
Right.
here on Mindset Monday, we got to get prepared, get prepared for these levels.
Right. After the week drains you, we got to have some mindset to get us back on track, because everything is vibration and energy. So once the week drains you, we need to come back on Monday and listen to some motivational things to help encourage us to keep going, keep grinding. You know, we have a little deal too about for Club Bismarck. It's pretty much, if you don't have your 2, we have your 2 for you. All you would have to do is pay $45, and you could start on being on track to be in position to make this $30,000. And let me say this, all 3 of these programs would be residual. Like you're being positioned to do this over and over and over as long as we work as a team. The Envision You is something we're looking at, and it's going to teach you real estate, Airbnb. It's going to teach you, what else is there? There's 2 more things.
The health and wellness, right? And then the sleep
Yeah,
aid,
that's the health side.
right?
I'm talking about on the,
Academy side.
yeah.
Ooh, you know what? I have
Teach you
been.
how to operate your own tour road business also.
Oh,
Yeah,
your own.
Toro.
Yeah.
What is that?
Tour road. So it's a
Turo.
yeah,
What
tour
is
road.
that?
It's like having your own car rental. You're instead of
Oh,
going to Enterprise or something like that, your people will be renting cars off of you.
that is
Right.
cool. I love that.
Yep.
See, and so that's the higher price membership that we have, but that one has the best
Yeah,
the best, more
technology
expensive
would be that would teach you. They got the technology that would teach you the NFTs and stuff like that. And I guess in the digital world, they got the real estate, they got the transport, and they
Metaverse.
also teaching you financial literacy. And then they got
Mm.
the health and wellness side, where they got the dream and the empowered and the crave, and those things will help your physical well-being, help you sleep better. And they're all sprays. The new world is stopping, I'm guessing, taking like supplements and what else is there, like
juices,
greens,
supplements,
greens,
creams. Yeah.
stuff like that. They're all about sprays. Sprays is about to be the new thing. You spray it in your mouth, and it's supposed to help you. And they having good reviews on this, so I'm excited to see what that brings. And if you come in as a founder, you get a percentage of the company every month. So that
Yep,
is excellent, Jay.
Ooh, that is huge. That's huge. So I don't know any other companies that do that. Not for
So
just.
our goal is to have several streams of income. Several
Mhm.
streams. What is it? How many streams of income do Amelia Year have? Is it 4 or 7? Yeah, 7.
Plus.
So right now we're looking at 3, and not only would you get these 3 vehicles that you could use, where you're getting coaching, you're getting a group community, you're getting support from everybody, you're going to learn how to market yourself, you're going to have a private community, different ways to just help you advance as your own person, own individual person, business owner. We're coming out with a drop shipping, you know what I mean? We're going to have, you could, just like a whole bunch of different ways you can make money. And that's what we're all about. We might even have what's it called? A book club, because I love Robert Kiyosaki and I would love to go over the books, which are like the audio books. I mean, that maybe we could do like a chapter, a day, not a day, but a week
Like that.
or
Yeah.
Yeah, I
something.
like that. Never heard of him, and that was what he was saying. I like
So
that a lot.
he
Oh, I
is
have the
he's one of the best people you could follow. You know what I mean? And like he teaches a lot. So anyone has a takeaway for today or or a goal you want to reach? Danielle, Phil, we're gonna let the members just absorb what we're saying. So my takeaway is I am going to, and I'm going to say this, y'all gonna hear me say this every Monday, is that I want to, like, me making these different investments is not even really about me making money. It is, but it's not. More so than anything, I'm gathering up all the knowledge I can so I can teach my kids this stuff. You know what I mean? So when they're older, they're going to have all the tools and the knowledge that I gathered over the years on how to be successful.
Mhm.
So they won't have the fixed mindset like most of us grew up on. I want them to have the growth mindset of being open to different investments and not scared to put their money up, and knowing how to put a percentage of their annual income in their saving account and how to flip that into the ROIs. I think if I'm using the right words to
Return
make
on
it.
investment.
Yes.
Mhm. Look, I have the book. Look, you see it? Y'all see it?
No, I can't see anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I have the book here. Yes, so I can be over here with the hard copy. You guys can be over there with the audio copy, and we can just go through it together so we all.
So this won't be a long YouTube. We could still talk on just stop the recording.